Welcome back again to Final Fantasy I. We're rapidly approaching the final battle. You might see that the bats, instead of saying key, are now giving us conversations. That's because these are the bats that were originally the Sky Warriors, 5 of them from Leifin. And they were transformed into bats, as we learned in the town when we visited. We'll see what they have to say, and then I assume maybe we're ready for the final battle. Welcome back to Late Night Nerdery. I'm your host, Mr. Late Night, and here we are in the Temple of Fiends in the past. Now, when you play this game through normally, you can level up here. It's a great place to go. The enemies are strong, they do hurt a lot, and it's going to use up a lot of your potions, but on the bright side, you can teleport out using the White Mage's spell, or the White Wizard's spell, Exit, or the Black Wizard's spell, Warp. You might notice the things that we don't have. So, in essence, this is a one-way trip. You either make it through, or you die trying. So we'll fight these gas dragons, since they give good experience. And you might notice, again, that health is dwindling quickly. This may have been too soon to go with a single character. Level 35 might be a little too weak. Certainly, Kenshiro's armor is okay, putting him at about, I believe it was 43, I'd have to check, but it isn't going to be enough to hold off these guys, I believe, at this point. We'll have to find out as we go. Heal up a little bit. Yeah, we're not doing that fight. But Phantom, we use the loot, which unlocks the stairway. You go down. It looks like the same area, but it isn't. These guys are still annoying. And as you can see, a lot of these guys still hurt. So we'll go through here. This brings us to the Earth element floor. And there's some Earth elementals right away. They're no trouble anymore. This is the floor, of course, where you fight our buddy Lich. And you really have to hope for one particular fight to not occur, which is this fight right here. If you have first strike, you can run away. If not, that's it. If they stun you, it's over. You're just going to stand there and either be killed or turned to stone. If you have the ribbon on, you won't be turned to stone, but you'll just stand there and be beaten up to death. So we're going to skip this a little bit ahead and come back. We had to do this repeatedly. Okay, there's Lich. And we could beat him up in about 2-3 hits. You might notice that we're down to about half our healing potions. So we'll move on. Now this is the fire floor. You deal with agamas that do very little damage to you. You can heal here if you choose, using the heal staff just like that. You can do it a few times. It may help you, or it may just waste your time. It's really hard to say. If they're not hurting you, it's worth it. In this case, really, it's a losing battle, because if they happen to crit you, you really lost all that progress you had. See, if you can see, there's that door that I have to go in. You can go around the floor. You kind of have to get to the other side of it to go fight the fire. So you come through here. Kill some more guys. Now what's annoying about this place is that you really can't run from everyone. There's a bunch of enemies that were bosses in prior encounters, such as, I believe, vampires later. And I know that I think there's wizards, I'm not really sure. But you can't run from those enemies because they were bosses and you couldn't run from them in prior encounters, meaning that you won't be able to run now. There's Carrie, the Fiend of Fire. 2 hits. And we're running very, very low on heal potions. This was, of course, the Sea Shrine's enemies. We'll run because there are a lot of them. I don't know that we can run from elemental water. Maybe. But in any case, you might notice that we just do not have enough in terms of healing potions to go on, so we're going to level up a little bit. To make that a little less annoying, we'll grind at an even faster speed on the video. And again, since we can't grind in the Temple of Fiends, it seems kind of pointless to go there. Normally you'd be able to, but again, without exit or warp it won't work. So a very good thing to do here is to stock up on heal potions and go into the Mirage Tower. This is a good place to do it. You can quickly level up on weak enemies in here, and as you go up to the top, there'll be plenty of stronger enemies. Now what I did, well, I actually went through this twice. I stacked up on heal potions to 99 once, made my way up there, fought everything, and then I did it again. That actually gave me a lot of time to grind, and it was a good way of timing it out. I'm gonna beat up the Catman. And head up here. Some enemies that can turn you to stone, but if you have a ribbon, that doesn't work. And we'll grind our way through here. Now, in this area, not on this level, but when you get to the top, oh, blue dragons are an easy one. You can just keep killing them. until that happens. But in the meantime, we can go to the top of the Mirage Tower for where we're going to level instead. Now, this is actually the hardest enemy in the game, called Warmack, and he will hit really hard. He has a lot of HP. You may never find him, but if you're lucky, well, or unlucky, I suppose, you will. And his strongest attack, his hits are worse than the nuclear. Like, nuclear should be stronger, and I guess it is if it hits your whole party. But yeah, you can get 32,000 EXP, which is pretty nice. In this case, this brought me to 38. We got back all the progress we had from before from leveling. So this is just more leveling up here at the top of the Mirage Tower on that same bridge. I was hoping for another encounter with Warmack, but it really didn't happen. Now, what might not have been visible a moment ago because we sped this up so much is that since the character is level 43, we are essentially passing what the armor would do. Our natural armor is now higher again. Now, the downside is that that is going to mean that you won't have the ribbon to protect you from status effects. However, on the upside, you do have your very, very high magic defense. As we said, that was a bug with Black Belt, that you get, I believe, 3 per level instead of 1 if you went to Karate Master. So you have very high magical defense to begin with. So even if the spell can hit you, there's a good chance it isn't going to work. Which is good. You don't really need the ribbon at this point. And if you were to wear the ribbon, it will drop your defense because of the whole armor glitch, where your natural armor will override it unless you're... So, we're good to go. I think at this point, it's safe to say that we can go back to the Temple of Fiends and see how we do. So just to show you, I came back to that same floor as we were on earlier, the Earth floor, and here is, yeah, we got away. But that group is still dangerous. Even if you think, well, now I'm level 44, I can take these guys easy. You've got some Earth Elementals to fight, and they don't even hurt much. 55 is nothing. 72, I mean, no, 83. I guess they can hurt a little bit, but it's not enough to stop Kenshiro. And look at that! 1,800 on hits. 2,000! He's hitting 10 times at once. Now he really is Kenshiro. These guys can barely hurt you at this point, and you'll have plenty of heal potions by the time you get to where you're going. Of course, there is still a downside, which is no ribbon means that we're vulnerable to being turned to stone. And that's the exact group that we don't want to run into. So far, so good. Not yet stunned. And oh boy, it's over. Even at a higher level, even with all that HP, if these guys stun you, this fight is over. If they don't and again, now that we're vulnerable to being turned to stone, we can only hope for that to be the end result rather than sitting here and getting pummeled to death. And you can see how many times they've tried to turn Kenshiro to stone, and well, that one worked, but it took quite a while. And so we'll end this episode of Late Night Nerdery right here. I am Mr. Late Night. Next time, we will take down Garland in the Temple of Fiends.